Sacred Heart of Jesus is one of the most popular Catholic devotions, and yet it's one that I only started to learn about very recently. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tara, and I'm a Catholic revert. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Sacred Heart of Jesus devotion, a little bit about the history of the devotion, what it means to me, and a couple of ways that you can practice this devotion if you're a complete beginner like myself. So a little bit about the history of the devotion. It's actually been around for quite a few centuries, but it was only popularized in the late 1600s. In 1673, Jesus appeared to St. Margaret Mary Alacoque, and in the vision he gave her a very powerful message. And these were the words that he said to her. "My heart is so full of love for men that it can no longer contain the flames of its burning love. I must discover to men the treasures of my heart and save them from perdition." Jesus gave St. Margaret Mary a vision of his Sacred Heart, and he asked her to spread this devotion among the Catholic faithful. And that was what she dedicated the rest of her life to. And as a result of her efforts, it really grew in popularity and became one of the most important and most beloved Catholic devotions out there. So that's a very brief history of the devotion. And since it is so incredibly popular, you can see images of the Sacred Heart of Jesus really all over the world. And there's all different styles and all different formats, but virtually all of them contain an image of the heart of Jesus, and the heart is on fire with his love for us, and it's also often wrapped in a crown of thorns as well. I had seen this image many times, throughout my childhood and into my adulthood, and there was always something compelling about it, but I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention. And it was really only after I returned to the church that I started to really gain an interest in Catholic devotions. And just this past month, June is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And that was really when I first began to learn about the devotion. And let me tell you, it has really made an impact on me and an impact on my prayer life. There was something about it that really just draws me in, and it evokes in me this really powerful desire to connect with God and to get to know Jesus. And this devotion, more than anything, has really given me just the smallest inkling of the incredible devotion and passion that God has for his people, for all his creation. The idea that Jesus' heart is on fire with love for us and so longs for us to come to him and to save us and to deliver us from all evil. That is just such a really powerful image for me. And it really evokes in me the desire to respond to that passion and to that love with love of my own, to get to know God and to really grow in my love for him as much as humanly possible, even though I know that as a human, there's no way that we could ever love God the way that he loves us. And something else that comes to mind for me is the greatest of all commandments. The greatest commandment that's in the Torah is the one that goes, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength." And this was a commandment that really always had a very strong impact on me. And years ago when I was studying Judaism, this was the one that really drew me in. And yet I couldn't understand how. The idea of loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, that was something that was so incredible to me, so wonderful and so beautiful. And yet I couldn't figure out how you do that. What's really, really remarkable is that I feel that this devotion, practicing this devotion, is really showing me how you can come to love the Lord your God in the most profound way imaginable. And so those are just a couple of reasons why at this point the devotion is already making such an impact on me and is already just so incredibly powerful for me. Now I wanted to share a little bit about how I'm practicing this devotion as a total beginner. So one of the first things I did was I wanted to get a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, because I felt like that was really important that I have that image. And there are so many out there, but ultimately the image that I decided on was this small wooden icon that was actually made in Bethlehem. So I purchased this icon, and now I like to keep it in my office. I actually like to keep it on my desk, so while I'm working I can take breaks and I can just gaze on at the heart of Jesus, and it helps to keep it in my mind throughout the day. So a very simple but beautiful way to start practicing the devotion is to just get an image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and to just spend a little time with it each day and just opening yourself up to the wonder and the beauty of the devotion and letting yourself feel His love for you. The second practice that I have was, there's a really beautiful prayer, the Litany of the Sacred Heart. And I've shared a link to the prayer as well in the description below the video, so you can definitely check that out if you're interested. It's a really beautiful prayer that's invoking the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And it is a long prayer, so if you try to read it in one go, as I initially did, it's kind of hard to really get the most out of it. So what I've found is that just picking one or two phrases from the prayer and reflecting on those really can make such a difference. One of the phrases was, "Heart of Jesus, aflame with love for us." And that's one that I reflect on, and it's just one that helps to give me a small sense of just how profound God's love for us truly is. And it helps me to start to open my heart and helps me want to return that love to the best of my ability in the best way that I can. And another one of the phrases that I really love and that's so powerful for me is, "Heart of Jesus, source of all consolation." Just reflecting on that makes me realize that no matter what trials I'm going through, that my consolation lies in Jesus, and all I need to do is to trust in Him and trust that He will guide me through. So this litany is just, to me, so very beautiful and powerful, and it really draws me in. But definitely I think to get the most out of it, it's best to just focus on one or two phrases each day. I feel like already it's helped me to start coming closer to Jesus, to knowing Him, to loving Him, and to entering into a relationship with Him. I feel that practicing this devotion, just these two simple ways, have already made a really profound impact on my prayer life, and that they've really helped me to come closer to Jesus and to really start to develop a true relationship with Him, which was something that I'd struggled to do in the past. And this devotion is really such a powerful way to come to know and to love God. If you're interested in learning more about Catholic devotions, one of the most beautiful devotions too is a devotion to the Blessed Mother. And so if you're interested in developing a relationship with Mary, I have another video too that shares several ways you can get closer to Mary, our mother. I really hope that this video will inspire you to begin to explore this beautiful devotion for yourself. And when you do, I know that it will make such a profound impact on your prayer life as well. Thank you so much for being here, and have a very blessed day.